Seemed like the battles would never end. And the giants crossed the sea.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Dark Souls 2 walkthrough. We are in the Forest of Fallen Giants, and we're going to be progressing through here. What I'm going to be showing you is the location of some weapons. I'm hopefully going to be able to give you some alternatives to what I'm using if that's not really your style or not your preference. The first of which is going to be the Hide Knight sword, which is an incredibly good sword if you're going to be going towards faiths and lightning, because it scales off lightning. It is elemental, and for anybody wondering, the standard scaling is nowhere near as good as elemental scaling on this game. From Software seems to have made the same mistake they did with Dark Souls at the beginning, and if you want power, and you want nothing but power, you want to choose elemental. Forget everything you know about the split split trading when it comes to defenses and things, because although it is apparent in this game, it's nowhere near as much of a penalty anymore, so you don't have to worry too much. This sequence here, I did a jump attack just then, which was interesting, but I didn't quite have the range to hit him, so unfortunately I paid the price. But these are your first bunch of hollows. They're going to teach you how to fight, they're going to teach you how the game works, and they're also going to teach you that if something lays on the ground and looks like what you're fighting that stood up, it's probably going to stand up. And a lot of these are beginner's traps to get you hit from behind, to surprise attack you when you're picking up items, and you always need to be aware. So the first thing you want to always do is, if you see something and it looks like it's an enemy, attack it. One way of hitting things that are lower than you, because the hit detection on this game is incredibly finicky, is to tilt the camera upwards so that you're looking down at them, because for some reason this gives you a better swipe when it comes to hitting grounded opponents. I'm not entirely sure how this works or why it works this way. I would prefer it if it didn't, but it's one of those things you kind of have to get used to, and after a couple of playthroughs you'll probably have no issue whatsoever with it. But up here there is quite a bit of a mob, and there's also an archer, which I didn't show you. You want to make sure that you use the tree in the middle to block yourself from the archer, or he's going to really cause some havoc up here. But climb the ladder, there's two dudes waiting for you here, so take those guys out. And then as you walk across these rooftops, you can cross the what is this even called? I can't remember the name of this particular kind of piece of castle. But here is the archer. Two swings should deal with him. Jump across here, and then hit this item over here. Once you've done that, you can fall down by using the archway just here. And if you do it on the left, you will not take damage. I take fall damage there because I don't fall down correctly. You can fall onto the roots to my right here and take no damage. So just a word of warning, folks. The first tip I need to give, which I haven't already and I should have, is that in Dark Souls 2, if you fully deplete your stamina bar, there is a penalty until it fully restores. The penalty is you cannot run. So you might notice early on that you're trying to run and the game won't allow you to. It's because you're in the movement penalty for depleting stamina. And one thing you can do is, as your stamina bar gets to about the middle, if you roll, you will then be able to run afterwards after a little bit of a delay, but it is nowhere near as long as the full delay of waiting for the full regeneration. This is the Hide Knight fight. If you know how to backstab, you can beat this guy quite easily, but be very careful. He has two broken attacks. The first one is that. He has a 2-hit combo where he spins the complete reverse direction. He does it almost immediate, and it's kind of janky looking. That's it just there. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's a counter move to trying to backstab him. So if you go towards his back, he will generally do that move. You need to be really careful. The second one is what I call the Rottweiler Attack, where he will stand still for a couple of seconds and it'll make it seem like his AI is bugged, and then he'll do an immediate dashing slash, which is so fast. A lot of the times you'll not even know it's happening before it hits you, and it does a lot of damage. And I don't know if it's a bug, I don't know if it's a problem with the game, but it reminds me of the running attacks of the halberds from the original Dark Souls when you were playing online. And if you've never played Dark Souls 1 and you don't know what I'm talking about, if you PvP'd, if somebody ran at you with the halberd, they would skip the animation of swinging the weapon. They would go from a running stance to the weapon landing, and it was really disjointing because the weapon had a very deliberate swing and it would just completely skip it. It would just omit it and it would skip to the damage, which made it a very difficult move to defend against because it was almost instantaneous. And he has a very similar move to that, so be very careful. But this is me swapping to the Hide Knight sword. You'll notice that this is a longsword moveset, which makes it quite useful. The only problem with it is you might have difficulty hitting things on the floor because it does a lot of horizontal and diagonal slashes, which not so good without the verticals, but still a good moveset, still a powerful weapon, as you're going to see, because it's a 1 to 2 hit on the starting enemies unupgraded, and it's very easy to upgrade, so just bear in mind this is one of the most powerful starting swords you can find. There's one other which I'm going to show you in the next video, and then you will have a choice between following me down the mace path or just upgrading the 2 long swords, which are both incredibly powerful in their own right. But that's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching, and as always, you take care now.